Students, I am still your subject teacher, Fred Asibe. So like we earlier said, we're able to look at what circle is. From our objective, we're able to learn the definition of a circle. We're able to identify parts of a circle. We were able also told that we're going to look at the circumference, how to divide the circumference of a circle into 12 equal parts. Yes, we have defined the definition. We have defined circle. Yes, you now can know the definition of circle, and you're also able to define some parts of the circle. Yes, not only that you define the parts of the circle, you're able to know their definitions. Now we want to look at how to divide circumference of a circle into 12 equal parts. You heard me, that's the third part of the objective. I say how to divide a circumference of a circle into 12 equal parts. Yes, I've told you that a circle, what a circle is a plane figure bounded by curved and chord circumference. Now we want to look at how to divide these circles into 12 equal parts. Dividing the circle into 12 equal parts is actually something that people find difficult. Is cyclic. Something that is cyclic, you want to divide it into 12 equal parts. Wow, that is another interesting side of the topic. So we want to find out a situation where you divide the circle into 12 equal parts and all these parts will be the same. Plus, in fact, this is just another interesting side of the division. So we are going to divide the circumference of a circle or any given circle into 12 equal parts. Now there are two methods. One will have the one of using the set square. We also have another method we have to use the compass. Let's start with the compass. Now, because already we've started using the compass. Now let's still use the same previous circle we drew. Remember, we were able to draw a circle of a radius 5 cm. That from this 0 here to B is 5 cm. Let me measure that so that you see it. You can see from here, from 0 cm to 5. Here is 5 cm. That's the radius. Now let's draw the same circle of the same side, the one we have drawn, the one we use in explaining the definition of circles and parts of circle. So let's draw another one around this area to divide it. We want to divide this circle. We want to see how we can divide this 12 circle into 12 equal parts. Now doing that, this is how you do it. I'm drawing the circle. As you can see, you center it. Draw it. Please avoid double lines when drawing a circle. Don't create double lines. So this is exactly what it is. You can still go back to find out if actually you're in track. Find out the center, please. Very, very important. The center of a circle is very, very important in this topic. So if you're drawing anything circle, you must make sure you get the center of the circle. You see, this is the center of the circle, because no matter how I swing the circle, how I draw the circle, it is still passing through the same circumference. So from the center here is equidistant to any point in the circumference of a circle. So that's the radius is just the same. So let's assume this is not the assumption, this is the center, actually where the center is, center O. Let's call it center O. Now, having done this is the first step. After drawing 5 cm, 5 circle of 5 radius, or circle of a radius of 5 cm, as I've just drawn, the next thing you're going to do is to indicate the center, which is center O. This is the center of the circle. Now after drawing that, the next thing you're going to do now is to draw a horizontal line, AB, and that horizontal line is the diameter. Remember I told you what diameter is. Yes, the line that is drawn through the center of the circle, a straight line drawn through the center of the circle is the diameter. So you have to draw a line, make sure it's passing through the center of the circle, a horizontal straight line. So you can indicate here as point A, and this is your point B. Yeah, this is a diameter. Now having done that, we have to also draw CD perpendicular to this. Perpendicular means it has to be at right angle. It must pass through this vertically. So how do you get that? Now, you can't be perfect to get 90 degrees, but the only way you can do that is to bisect. Remember in the previous video, I told you how to bisect. So in bisection, what you have to do is to center your compass at point A here, Then this is the center 0. Expand this center 0 more than half. That's more than radius, more than the half of the circle, straight line AB. Expand the radius more than half. I want to produce a perpendicular. You can do that as much as you can, but I will advise you to expand it as much as more than the circle itself, so that you don't draw anything inside the circle. You don't want to create so much diagram within. So you draw this. Draw an arc above and below of the circle. So we are going to draw an arc above and below the circle. So let's do that. So this is where I want my arc to be. You can expand it any length you want to. But let's draw an arc here. This arc 1 above the circle, also below the circle. So having done this, you remove it. Make sure you don't squeeze this. Go to this point, center it at point B. Draw above the circle and below the circle. So having done this, the next thing you're going to do now, you have drawn what we call bisection. Remember we told you about bisection of a straight line. If you go back to the previous video, just touch subscribe, you will get my 16 videos. Then more than 16 videos. Once you touch the subscribe, you're going to see the videos. Then go and check the bisection of a straight line. Yes, you can see how it is being done. This is exactly what I'm doing. It's a recap. This is a summary of what it means by bisection. You draw up an arc above, below, then center it at B. Draw another arc to cut the previous arc. That's how you bisect. The essence of doing this is to produce 90 degrees, because if you use your rule or set square to go and draw it, remember I told you set square can also be used. You might not get it exactly 90, but what I'm doing now is to make sure it's perfect. It's 90. Then center your rule from this point to this point. Draw. Let it pass through the point of intersection of these two arcs. So there are two arcs here. There are two arcs here. The point of intersection should be the point where the straight line will pass from. So that will give you exactly 90, and it should be passing through the center. You see, draw a straight line. So this is exactly what it is. But this sign you have to do is have to be thin line, because we are not going to use them. What we're interested in is to get a perpendicular. As it stands now, this is a perpendicular. When you bring out your compass and measure this line, it's completely 90. This is a compass, as you know. A protractor, sorry. As you all know, make sure the 0 to 180 lines are running along line AB. Then the one that is 90 should be running through this line drawn here. So by doing that, you now place it. As you can see, this is exactly run this line. You see the straight line is passing exactly 90 degrees, telling us it's what? Exactly what? Perpendicular. That makes 90 degrees. Are you saying that now? So that is how, if you go to the previous video, if you can't get the video, just touch subscribe. Just touch it. Subscribe simply means is you want to have access to other videos. So just touch it. Asibe Fred. Once you type it in your YouTube, touch subscribe. My 16 or 18 videos will appear. They will give you exactly what you want. You go there to choose the kind of video you want. That's the sense of touching the subscribe here. Now, having done that, we want to look at the labeling. Now we have labeled here. We have indicated here as point A, point B. Then we can also call here C, point C, and this should be the point D. If you like, you can clean up the extra lines. Clean it up. If they are thin lines, it's not necessary. That's why I know this one is just touching the title block. It's not necessary. Once we've gotten the what we want, it's not necessary. The major thing is to get a perpendicular line, so you can keep it there. So this is exactly what we want. Now, having drawn this, remember initially I told you on the previous video that we have quadrants. These are quadrants. It means if here is 90, let me use this opportunity to explain that quadrant again. If this point is 90 degrees, and this is another 90, that is 180, turn this upside down, you have another 90, another 90 here. That is another 90 plus another 90. 180 plus 180, which is semicircle, will give us angle at a point, which is 360, which is total sum of the angle in a circle. So that's it. So you can see this is exactly what a quadrant is. So this portion now is a quadrant, this is a quadrant, this is a quadrant, this is a quadrant. So that was just that definition I was just doing. And a quadrant is formed as a result of two radii. From the center here to any point in circumference is a radius. Two radii and an arc. This is an arc. A portion of the circumference is an arc. So a quadrant is formed by two radii meeting at 90 degrees. And with what? Arc. So that is what a quadrant is. So we are going to divide this circle into 12 equal parts. So dividing the circumference of this circle into 12 equal parts. Yes, I know somebody will say, this should be taxing. It's not taxing. It's as simple as it is. You just pay attention and see the steps I'm going to take. Now, the first thing you have to do, using the compass, we have two methods like I told you earlier. You either use the set square, 60 and 30. This is what you're going to do. Don't use 45 because we're not using this. So use 60 and 30. I'm going to do that in the next video. Then we are going to use compass because we've started with it already. So now, how do we use the compass to do this? Now you center, have you draw diameter AB and the diameter CD, all passing through center, the center 0. Now what you're going to do now, you center at A. Are you seeing it now? Center at A. This is center A. You center at A. Then having done that, centering it at point A, then the next you're going to do now is you now in turn of the radius of the circle. Take measurement of the circle of radius of the circle. Are you seeing the radius of the circle now? Can you remember what you said about the radius of the circle? If you have forgotten, you can still go back and use your ruler. It is the distance from this point A to point 0. The distance from A to 0 is the radius of the circle. Remember I told you what radius is. From the center of the circle to any point in circumference is the radius of the circle. So the distance from this point A to 0 is the radius, which we measured 5 centimeters, right? Yeah, let's measure it and confirm. Yes, this is 5 cm. Are you seeing that now? 5 cm. So exactly what you're going to take from your compass is 5 centimeters. Make sure it's exactly 5 cm. Yes, this is 5 cm. Are you seeing that now? So make sure it's 5 cm. Because that's the only way you can divide this circle. Imagine dividing a circle 12 equal parts. That means no one will be bigger than each other. They will all be the same size. That's very, very, very interesting. So by doing that, so what you're going to do now is you center at point A, like I earlier told you. From the center of this point A to the center of the circle. This is the center of the circle, which is 5 cm we have earlier said. Yes, from the center, which is still the same thing. You can still go back and center at the center of the circle and see whether it's touching the circumference. Yes, it's perfect. So then, these two confirm. Then center it at A. That's the first step. Then mark off this portion. Are you seeing that, class? That is, mark off this other portion. Are you seeing that? So you mark up of this circumference. Just mark off along the circumference of this circle. Mark off along the circumference of this circle. Now don't compress this. Don't press it, or else everything you're just doing here will not be correct. So now, having done that, you center at point B. Do the same thing. Mark off this place with the same radius. Mark it below, above and below, along the circumference of the circle. Yes, that's exactly what you do. So having done that, you have done for A, you have done for B now. Now you're going to do for the D. Just do the same thing for D. Center at point D. This is very, very simple. Then mark off this point along the circumference. Just make sure as you're stepping on any of these points, A, B, C, D, just mark along the circumference 2 ways. One in the front, one in the back, one at the top, one at the down. So that's it. Just 2 ways. Like I've marked here, you marked here. So you go to center C. We have done for A, we have done for B, we have done for D. Now the last one we're going to do now is the center C. Centering it at point C, you do the same thing you did for A and B, A, B, C, A, B, D. So you mark off here. I also mark off this point. Are you seeing it? Do you see what we did now? Let me come back again. Take the radius of the circle, which is 5 cm, center at point A, mark up along the circumference, top of the circumference, mark along below the circumference. Now remove it, center it at the next point. You can say B. Let's follow the letters in their order. Mark by the side of this circumference and mark by the side of this circumference. Now let's go to the letter C. After A, B, C, let's go to C. Center at point C. Mark at this point of the circumference of the circle. Mark as this point of the circumference of the circle. Then go to the last letter D. You can follow that method to remember everything we're doing here. Mark, center it at point D. Mark at this point of the circumference. So mark on the circumference. That's all. What you're doing is just marking off along the circumference. That's all. It doesn't take you anything. There's no big, it's not mumbo jumbo. It's not too complex. So it's just a simple thing. Just mark off along the circumference. So having done this, now the next thing you're going to do now is to join up these points. Now remember, when you mark off from these points, you are going to join up these points. Now if you look at already, we have two letters joining. This A and B is joining already. C and D is joining, which we have done initially through bisection. Now this time around, you're going to join these points. Now how do you do that now? Now you see this point, let's start with this point. This point, you must pass through the center. At this point you mark, make sure your straight line is passing through this point to this point. Are you getting that now? Or if you're confused, maybe you can number them. Now you can start your numbering. You can call here 1, 2. Already this is 1, 2. This is another 1, 2. This is another 1, 2. This is another 1. Let me put it very in order. This is another. This is 1. You can put it in order. Let me put it in order. Number them. Let's number them now properly. Now you can mark off this point. You can say this is point 1. This is point 2. Anyhow you want to number it, you can number it. But the most important is to get what we're doing. This is another point 1. Maybe from this place to this point is 1, 2. From here to here, the clockwise is another 1, 2. This is exactly clockwise is 1, 2. From the clockwise 1, 2. Then you still do the same thing here. From here D, going to this place is going to be 1, 2. From this same D is going to also be 1, 2. You can use that method. If you like, you can just number it 1, 2, 3. That doesn't mean much. So now you now join these points. Join 1, 1. All the 1, 1 should meet. Now when you join 1, 1, 1, 1 will meet with 1, 1. You see? That's the sense. Join the point 1 and join this point. Make sure it's passing from the center. Target your center. You can touch the mouth of the pencil. The conical point of the pencil are those points. So by doing this, you join these points. So the next thing, 1, 1 will meet 1, 1. You come to this point. Another 1, 1 will meet another 1, 1. Yes, all the 1, 1 will meet 1, 1. All the 2, 2 will meet the 2, 2. That's the sense of numbering it that way so that it will not be easy. I wanted to do the complete numbering, but I just wanted a way you can get it very easy. 1, 1 will meet 1, 1. You follow that method of marking out. 1, 1 will meet 1, 1. Then 2, 2 will meet 2, 2. 2, 2 will meet what? 2, 2. Yes, as you can see, 2, 2 meeting 2, 2. Make sure they are all passing through the center. But sometimes students will just forget about this. The center is very, very important in a circle. It's from the center you now find out the equidistance from the circumference of the circle. So you see. The next thing you're going to also meet is 2, 2. Remember, 2, 2 will meet 2, 2. I've done that. The another 2, 2 here will meet another 2, 2. Make sure they are all passing through the center. See, it's just like fun. So 2, 2 will meet 2, 2. 1, 1 will meet 1, 1. Just as simple as that. So just number it properly. So make sure it's passing to point of the mark off and the center. You can touch it with your pencil, critical point. Make sure the whole thing passes through all these points. Wow! Students, can you see that beautiful? Just take a good look on this. You find out that this circle the circumference of this circle has been divided into 12 equal parts. The circumference of this circle has been successfully divided into 12 equal parts. What method did we apply? Draw the given circle, which is what? 5 cm, which is 50 millimeter radius. After drawing that, what you do now is to draw line AB, which is the diameter, pass from the center. That one doesn't mean you can just draw it anywhere, but after drawing the AB, your perpendicular comes in bisection. Through bisection, you draw center at A, more than the radius of the circle, draw an arc below and above. Center at B, draw an arc above with the same radius to cut the previous arc down below. And the next one you're going to do now is to draw the line that passes through the point of intersection of the two arcs, or the meeting points of these arcs. So after doing that, then you now indicate your points D and C. Then you now can start your division. How do you do your division? Now, like I told you earlier, you have to, the center be in the radius of the circle. Just draw an arc above and below. Center B, draw an arc above and below. Center C, above and below. Center D, above and below. The number from the C to here, this is clockwise, this is anti-clockwise. This direction is anti-clockwise, this is clockwise. C to B is clockwise, while the C to A is anti-clockwise. So we number here 1, 2, number here again 1, 2. Then come to this point, the same thing, clockwise, D to A clockwise, and the D to B is anti-clockwise. So you number here 1, 2, number here 1, 2. Join the 1, 1 through the center of the circle. Join the 2, 2 through the center of the circle. That's the summary of all this division of a circle. So with this, the circle has been divided successfully into 12 equal parts. If you can count it, look at it. Let me count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Wow. You can use this to indicate the number of, maybe you want to make a wristwatch to get the positions of the wall clock, the position of the time, the hours. You can use this to get it perfect. So that's exactly how circle can be divided into 12 equal parts. So I think this is where we'll draw the curtain for today. When we come next, we continue from where we started. Remember, before we call it a day, we were able to go through what we call circle. Yes, I said circle, yes. You will recall that we earlier started with what circle is. We learned about circle, definition of circle. Not only that, we were able also to look at the parts of circle. And we were able to mention parts of circles, like example, the circumference, the segment, the arc, the radius, the quadrant, the sector, and so on. They are all parts of the circles. After that, we were able to look at division of circles into 12 equal parts. So we divided the circumference of a circle, a given circle, into 12 equal parts using what? The compass. So that's where we'll draw the curtain for today. When next we come, continue from where we stop. Make sure you touch your video. Once you watch your video, if you want to get other videos, please touch the subscribe. Just touch. You don't do any other thing. Touch the subscribe, touch the bell. If you want to get me, type RCB Fred on your YouTube. Touch the subscribe. All my 16 videos will appear. Then you can watch any of these drawing. So that's why we call it a day for today. When next we come, we continue from where we stop. I'm still Fred Asibe, your subject teacher. If you want to get me in touch or make any inquiry or to get further information about me or to ask any question, call me on +234 8069373792 via WhatsApp with the same number +234 8069373792. I'm still Fred Asibe, your subject teacher. When next we meet, continue from where we stop. Stay safe. Thank you.